from the 1st of January this year, private vehicles that were paying 5,000 naira premium for 1 million naira third-party property damage limit have started paying 15,000 naira for 3 million, while owner good vehicles are paying 20,000 naira premium for 5 million naira compensation limit, and staff buses now pay 20,000 naira for 3 million naira. We've spoken on this before now, but now we have from the corner of the National Insurance Commission now to explain to us why we have to pay more and perhaps some of those hurdles. Joining us from our Abuja studio, we have Mr. Samuel Chukwuka, the Chief Executive Officer of ICG Consulting Limited. Mr. Chukwuka, thank you so much for your time this morning. We'd like to know, Mr. Chukwuka, why should we be paying more? Why are we paying more? I think a lot of people were just okay with the 5,000 naira.
Yeah, thank you. I can barely hear you, but I will manage. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. The critical thing there is awareness, public awareness. First, Nigerians must understand the essence of motor vehicle third-party insurance, and also the benefit of it for vehicle owners in Nigeria. The insurance of motor vehicle in Nigeria at the third-party basis became compulsory by virtue of the provision of the Motor Vehicle Third-Party Insurance Act of 1945, which became operational in 1950. The delay was inevitable because there were still very few vehicles on Nigerian roads at the time. And so the law, even though it was made in 1945, it had to delay its operation till 1950. Now, by Section 3(1) of that law, it became an offense in Nigeria for anyone to use any motor vehicle on the road or authorize its user by anyone unless there is, in relation to the user of the vehicle, a policy of insurance designed to protect the interests of third party as it relates to his life or personal injury if he suffers personal injury or more. Now, sometime in 2003, we had another Insurance Act, 2003. That act in Section 68(1) introduced what is known today as third-party property damage. The reason was that as at 1945, when the Motor Vehicle Third-Party Insurance Act was made, it didn't have the scope to include the third-party property damage, which became fashionable sometime in the 80s and 90s. Now, what it means, therefore, is if you have a third-party motor insurance policy, what it protects is the possibility of accident which may give rise to death of the road user or injury to his person or damage to his property. And in this case, we are looking at motor vehicle or other public structure that may be injured by reason of the use of the vehicle. Now, it is the responsibility of the National Insurance Commission as the regulator of insurance business in Nigeria to actually fix the rate. Although usually regulators approve rates as fixed by insurers in other non-compulsory insurances. But with respect to compulsory insurances, the regulator is given the right or the power to fix the rate of premium. If you look at Section 52 of the Insurance Commission, National Insurance Commission Act, passed in 1997, you will see that. Now, what the regulator has done is to review this rate as it is from 5,000, as you rightly said, to 15,000. Now, many people who have commented on this or responded to this actually have looked at the increase, as it were, from 5,000 to 15,000. but have not considered the basis for this increase. Now, why was the increase necessary? The increase became necessary because we have what is called the ECOWAS brown card cover. And we understand the ECOWAS Commission and what it's doing, integrating West African countries into a sub-region as a bloc. Now, one of the incidents is free movement of people and vehicles and goods. So it's possible for somebody to wake up in Ghana this morning and by evening is in Nigeria, and he comes in with his vehicle. So how do I isolate a vehicle from somebody who comes from Ghana or Ivory Coast or anywhere from West Africa? Because if you also drive on the road and you damage property belonging to a third party, even though it comes from Ghana or elsewhere, you will also be responsible. But remember that the policy of insurance issued in Nigeria does not have extraterritorial cover. It is meant to operate in Nigeria. So now that we have a new dimension of living as ECOWAS sub-region, and people can come in from anywhere, and we may have the problem of either injuring them or killing them by reason of the use of vehicle, it becomes necessary that we should have what is now known as automatic ECOWAS brown card cover. Before now, you have policy 5,000 naira, and then if you want to travel, and you have to get another ECOWAS brown card cover. So both of them, you pay for them. Now, the 5,000 has increased to 15,000, but it also covered this new dimension of ECOWAS brown card cover, which becomes automatic by virtue of implementation of the ECOWAS brown card scheme. Yeah, now, but apart from that also, there is another dimension. Another dimension is that when we had this third-party property damage cover extended to the motor vehicle third-party insurance policy, it was only for 1 million naira for Nigeria. So now that we are going to deal with other jurisdictions other than Nigeria, we have to also upgrade it to align with the rest of the other jurisdictions. So what happened is that what the Commission has done is to take into consideration the new dimension of the ECOWAS brown card scheme, and also to look at increasing the third-party property limit, which used to be 1 million naira. And now, for motor vehicle private, is going to be 3 million.
All right, Mr. Chikuta.
For commercial, 5 million, and in that order. So,
all right, Mr. Chikuta.
In essence, what the Commission has done is in the interest of the public. And I think that Nigerians should accept this policy.
All right, obviously.
Let it fly.
Obviously.
Because it is for the benefit of everyone. Yes, I can barely hear you.
As you have noted, NICOM is the regulator, so Nigerians do not have a choice but to comply. But what Nigerians are saying is a lot of people who actually buy this policy only buy because they are compelled to, because of the integrity of insurance companies to pay the compensation when needed, the process and the timeline, to get this compensation. Those are the worries that Nigerians have.
We agree there is need to make claim settlements become more efficient. And I can assure you that the regulator is up and doing as far as this is concerned. But one of the major concerns over the years is that the cost of the third-party cover that we are having has been too low. And therefore, the insurers have not been able to build sufficient capacity to settle claims. And insurers themselves know it also, that people don't buy insurance policies on the third-party basis. They prefer to go to get any kind of paper from anywhere and use it to cross the police. Now, what we are expecting to happen is that now that the price has been increased to 15,000 naira, the insurance companies will be able to save sufficiently to be able to settle claims. That's one. And if the insurer now has capacity to settle claim, but is unable to settle claim as at when due, then it becomes an issue of regulator to intervene. And I can assure you there are provisions, even in the Insurance Act, whereby an insurer that refuses to settle claim that is due, when they assess up to 5 of them, the insurer license can be cancelled. Those provisions are there, and the regulator is able to enforce them only when the regulator ensure that the insurer is collecting sufficient premium to be able to settle claim.
All right.
Like I said before, there is need for critical awareness.
So what is an average timeline? An average timeline that an individual can be sure, oh, I can access, my claims. What's the timeline? And what's the regulator, NICOM, doing to ensure that the insurance companies actually stick to that timeline?
Well, we have a legislation to that effect. If you look at the provisions of Insurance Act, insurer has 90 days, which is 3 months from the date of the reporting of the claim to settle it, if it's a claim that is supposed to settle, 90 days. And I think the regulator is up and doing. And the critical thing is not with settlement of genuine claim. The critical thing is that majority of the policies in operation are fake. So those policies that are bought from genuine insurance operators will be settled within the timeline prescribed by the law. And I don't think that there are issues about that. All we need to do is to create sufficient awareness for the need for the public to get the proper insurance. That is it. Once we have it, the regulator is there, and there are also NGOs and institutions that are working to support the commission to ensure that claims are settled as at when they are supposed to be settled.
All right, Mr. Chukwuka, thank you so much for sharing your perspective and NICOM's perspective with us this morning. Of course, settling of those claims, I tell you, are very important. Chief Executive Officer of ICG Consulting Limited, enjoy the rest of your day.